Exactly. Okay. Lot to evaluate. It'll be an interesting tape to watch. First scrimmage looked like a first scrimmage. Tackling was just okay to average, I would say, below average at times, especially with the second unit. Way too many penalties, especially with the second offensive lineman. We're going to move around on defense, and that's what we are. We're going to go from the odd front to the even front, and we want to cause deception. We want to cause miscommunication, and our offense is going to have to learn to deal with that, and hopefully that's tough for our opponents also. So that's where we sit. One turnover is too many, so obviously if we had more than one, which we did, we had too many turnovers. But, some kids made some plays, held a lot of people out, stayed healthy for the most part. A couple kids we'll check on as we go through to see exactly where they're at. I thought that the older kids, for the limited reps that they got, James ran the ball hard, Melvin ran the ball hard. Chris didn't play a snap, so he played very well today, which was good to see. He stayed very healthy, which was a positive. So, I could go on and on. There's a lot of good things. There's plenty to work on after scrimmage number one, but we wanted to see the quarterbacks throw the football, and that was definitely one of the top priorities. A lot of quarterbacks in this world can come back and hand the ball off to a big physical offensive line with great tight ends and what we think are some very talented running backs. So we've got to make sure we can throw the football and be effective when we need to, and that's a point of emphasis right now in camp, especially as we move through that quarterback battle.
So what did you think of the quarterbacks today?
Up and down. I kind of like some presence. I like the presence. I watch a lot of things when we're going through a quarterback competition. That's why I stand back there. I want to see how his team is responding to him. And, you sit back and you look at it, we're making some strides there. We'll have to sit back and watch the tape. Separation right now, we're going to see. This first scrimmage is important. The rest of this week is important, and we'll get to the second scrimmage. And, by then we're going to have some definite separation to get it into so much of a priority as far as really 1 and 2. Does that mean we're going to say who starts a week from today? No, but we'll be much more clear-cut.
Stavi had the nice deep ball. How important is that aspect, Gary, that he brings?
It's huge in this offense now. The ability to get the ball to the third level on the back end with the way we believe we're going to be able to run the football is a big, big weapon now, because safeties bite, and they take one bad step, and you've got yourself a big play on your hands. And to have a young man that can throw that ball accurately with enough power to get it down the field is a big part of this offense, and will continue to be, especially with the number of tight ends we have. A lot of those play-action throws that you'll see as the offense develops get yourself into the second level, but they're across-the-field throws. It takes a strong arm to do that.
Gary, what dimension does Corey give you in the backfield besides depth that you may not have had coming into this camp?
Well, I think he's shown that he's a physical runner. He's extremely tough. His ability to pick up protections and get on the right guy early in camp has been impressive. So, past his ability to be a third back, I would say he's had a good camp running the football. But I'm most impressed the way he's handled a Division I football camp and how he's handled it mentally. A lot of kids are ready physically, but not mentally, and he appears to be ready to play a role, if you will, mentally and physically today.
Also defensively, Ethan Humer had a lot of good tackles. That swat at the 1-yard line. What did you see from him?
Yeah, Ethan did some good things today. It's our goal is to be too deep up front. We want to have 6 starters on the defensive line, and we're headed in that direction. And that's great to see. It really, really is. We want to have 2 nose guards, 2 right ends, 2 left ends, and we may even get ourselves to a 7th very solid player there. So it's a nice situation we're in there. Ethan has done a nice job throughout camp, and so are the other young men continuing to fight and battle through there. And they all have their work to do, but there are good numbers there, which is a great thing.
Gary, you guys have been getting good pressure on the quarterback throughout this camp, but does Joel need to be a little bit more cognizant of getting the ball off earlier?
Yes.
Avoiding the sacks?
Yeah, there's no question. And understanding situations. We got in a couple situations today where you just flat got to get the ball out. I let him get a little closer to the quarterback today. I let him buzz him a little bit, and that's an important it's an important part of this process. They need to feel it. They need to understand it. And there's times when you got to get it out. Again, this defense is built on being aggressive. It's built on taking chances, not so much in like 0 blitzes and bringing 7, but you're bringing people from very different places where you don't see often in traditional defense, I guess, if you will. So he's got to adjust to that, get the ball out on time. Too many times today on the first, second, and really the third offense, we got behind the sticks because of a penalty, because of a sack. It wasn't because of the run game, getting knocked back. I think we had a couple TFLs, a big one on the edge here for about 4 or 5 yards, but we were shooting ourselves in the foot. Administrative penalties you have to eliminate if you're going to be a great football team, and that's things that you can prevent pre-snap. That's what I call an administrative penalty.
Gary, is there any scenario where you would play more than one quarterback?
Yeah, I wouldn't say, I'm not interested in platooning, but if you've got a young man that has a package or a set of skills that could really cause some issues for a defense as far as their preparation time, and it can still give you an advantage on game day, I think it's something that you would always look at, but right now that is not the plan.
There's been a couple of quarterback center exchange issues the last couple of days. Do those drive you crazy as a coach?
It's surprising. We bobbled one down in the red zone, that backed up, and it popped back up in his hands when we were lucky down there. So, what is good for the defense is really bad for the offense. But we went through the first part of camp really good, and I felt like today the center exchange was poor because if you have one, and it was 100 snaps, like around 99 or 100, and we had a couple CQ problems. It's not good.
Is McAvoy still having to think too much for you to get a good read on what he can be this year?
I think Tanner will really come into his own here next week. So the answer to the question is I would say yes. But again, that is Tanner's responsibility to let that smooth out. And, he's out there in turbulent waters right now. Hopefully in the next 5 or 6 days, his mind will clear, the waters will smooth, and he can go out and let his athletic ability and his mind take over. And again, the challenges for a quarterback is to gain the respect of the guys that are on the field with him. It's a very different position, as we all know.
Anything you saw on the receiving corps today that pleased you?
Well, I saw Jared, I saw Jordan do some good things, I saw Kinzel do some good things. I felt coming into camp, I mentioned those 3 names. Still waiting for the next young man to pop up and do some things for us. Robert was in there, didn't really get an opportunity today. I'm excited about what he's done in camp to this point. But we will see as he goes. I have a ton of confidence in those tight ends. Today wasn't really their day as far as getting a lot of opportunities. Again, that had a lot to do with the plan of the quarterbacks throwing the ball down the field to the wideouts today. But I think we're going to be okay there. Still need at least one more to step up and be the guy as we go through camp.
Gary, in your mind, in your own mind, did your quarterback depth chart change at all today?
Yeah, I would say slightly in my own mind. Yeah, I think some kids played better than others, and it is about scrimmages. It's 11-on-11 football, and when it's live, it matters the most. And you can't. Practices are very important. We all know that, but it's still what you're doing when you come out in these situations, and you can't blame it on the fact that this crew had false starts and whatever it is. You got to produce when you're given the opportunity. And I think there's been some slight separation at this point, which is, I would hope so. Hope it wouldn't be a dead tie after 6 or 7 practices.
Leon Jacobs catch your eye again?
Yeah.
He keeps showing up.
He does. Leon is unbelievably athletic. Again, another young man. He's played not much football in his life. You know his story. This is brand new for him. And he was one of those AAU basketball phenoms, and all of a sudden didn't grow to 6'7", so he wasn't anymore. And he decided football was going to be his game. And a good decision by Leon and his family. Proud of the way he's doing it. He's handling it mentally right now. He's handling it physically right now. Again, that's the challenge of every freshman and every junior college player that we have. And, so far, so good.
Gary, you mentioned when you moved Jeff Lewis to safety to see what he could do, and it doesn't look like he's getting a lot of work back there. Do you keep that safety now, or what's the plan?
We discussed that this morning. We'll see. We're going to let him settle in the waters a little bit there still and get some reps going through it. Corey's done a very good job at running back. I don't want to move him back over there and have him just go back and be lost completely in the depth chart. Jeff's challenge right now is to continue to run the safety, make his reps count, don't count his reps, and put him in a position to get involved on special teams. And so we'll continue down that line today, but time will tell as we move forward.
How have your players adapted to the aggressive defense? Obviously it's a big change for a lot of kids, especially on the front side.
Yeah, one thing I did notice today is I thought we kind of caught fire a little bit with some emotion on that side of the ball late into the scrimmage, which tells me they might still be thinking a little bit. So that's a little bit of a red flag for me. I think they've handled it well. I think they like it. It is aggressive. Our ability to do some of the things that they did today is definitely a step forward from where they were in the spring with disguising coverages and moving the fronts in and out of packages. There's a lot of moving pieces to that. Still probably some thinking, But overall, I think they're excited about it. Be excited if it works. They'll be more excited. So we'll see.
How do you like the way the secondary's coming along?
Yeah, Jakari made some great plays down here at the end. It was good to see a young freshman make a couple plays. I was pleased with that. Had the ball go over the top of us for the big one. We lost our eyes. Can't do that, especially against this offense. So work in progress. Caputo has done a nice job, and him and Moose are going to be in a battle for that other second safety spot next to Dez. But I would say this right now, we're going to need 3 safeties for sure, because Dez is going to be sometimes a nickel corner when we get into our deeper packages we go through camp. So still a work in progress, but moving in the right direction. There's 2 very good coaches coaching those kids, and there's a lot of hungry young men. So we'll get it figured out.
Is Hammond out for extended time?
I don't know that. It kind of happened this morning. It didn't look too bad, and I think we probably need an overnight evaluation on that to see exactly where he sits. Okay? All right. Thank you, guys.